at the kitchen.
So here we go. And Leigh Waters to start us off. Let's play pickleball. And a good start. Just even a lead, even one here. Just like, yeah, we're winning.
Just a side out.
Yeah.
Just take whatever you can get and try to run with that momentum.
And a little hesitation there from Leigh as it looked like Ben was going to take over there and then aborted the mission and bailed out of there. So they do get the lead. And that's the shot that is going to have to be way better than it was in the quarterfinal.
Good news for him is he's due.
Yes.
Normally that forehand is a lights out shot for Thomas Wilson.
2-0-1.
And literally the lights went out the last time they played just for a second. That was a first for us on the PPA Tour, just a flash of black. Big swing from Leigh Waters goes deep, and what a start for David and Wilson. 3 in a row, and they're on their first server. And the patented Viv David ATP blistered into the corner. Ben Johns doesn't believe in timeouts, but guess what, Ben? You aren't in control over.
4-0-1.
Yeah, and it's 4-0-1, so just one little dot on the scoreboard, please. All right, you saw the future.
4-0-2.
See, Ben, timeouts work.
I'm pretty sure Leigh was yelling at Ben to bounce on that overhead. Didn't listen, and I think he probably made the right choice.
Yeah, because if that hits the ground, you've given up a lot of court position. And there she is again. Full sprint, lateral movement, perfect in the back corner of the court. Viv David is on fire in the quarters, picking up right where she left off.
Even though they lost that exchange, look at the hands. Wilson and David have come to play here, Dave.
Yep, dialed in.
1-4-2.
Just pulled wide there, short return, and Leigh pounced. Viv much prefers the backhand there, so good location on the drive from Ben, and that huge lead gone, just up one. And we are tied at 4 in a blink of an eye.
Yeah, and Ben just taking over these last couple points, driving, immediately crashing in, creating all the offense on his own.
And Leigh lights it up, and are we going to get a timeout on the other side? They are going to talk about it and play through. 5 in a row for the top seed. Six in a row. It's about time to sit down and think about it, but they're going to just keep going. Remarkable response, but that's what they do.
They just keep coming. And again, talked about the layers of.
Time in. 6-4-2.
Just deep from Ben there, and that was a shot that Thomas Wilson was perfection on in the quarters. So, we get the ball back after the timeout. Timeouts have worked out very well on both sides. Georgia Johnson did this in the last match, and now Vivienne David speeding up cross court and winning.
Yeah, and that's what I said. I like them getting a little more creative at the kitchen line. You know that just the standard dinking and waiting for errors isn't going to work. So mixing up your attack locations, taking some chances, that's what you're going to need to do to knock off the #1 team in the world.
Wow, Thomas Wilson stands on the line after that incredible winner and gets loud.
Goes from backing up and resetting to charging forward and turning it into a perfect timing on the poach.
What a play, 6 apiece. And Vivienne David says, get that the heck out of here, Ben.
This is why I like the strategy of do whatever you need to do to get to the kitchen line. But once you get there, you've got a green light. Against this team, you can try a lot of different things.
Ooh, no communication on the middle ball there for a team that knows each other better than pretty much everybody.
7-6-2.
And Leigh pops it up and hasn't been seeing the ball a lot the last 2 matches because we had Johns v. Johns, just fireworks in the quarters, and you can frustrate her a little bit by making her dink a lot. So very smart here for Wilson and David, and now they've got a 2-point lead. Another one where Thomas just flashed in there for a second.
Yeah, David had been putting on an absolute reset clinic in that transition zone.
Unbelievable hands from Leigh Waters, because Thomas Wilson absolutely destroyed this, and she was right there.
Well, it's one of the things that sets her apart. Not only is her attacking good, but when her opponents counter well, she's somehow still able to keep the point alive.
It's going to sail deep. Lee's got a little heat check going on here. When she sees anything, she's lighting it up at the kitchen line. Okay, so the AL dub poach does not get on the ground, and they survive that.
8-7-1.
Ooh, that's right on the sideline. And Leigh tried to jump in front and couldn't. She was like, wasn't that out? And Ben's like,
Yeah, bounce that up pretty high for her to be able to make a move. And I do not know how Thomas Wilson came up with that lob with the two-handed backhand.
Beautiful shot by Ben into the open court, but that's a risk that you've been saying Thomas Wilson and Viv need to just take.
Yeah, you got to keep trying that. You're putting them under pressure. That's your best chance to steal away a few points.
And we are at a game point for Wilson and David. Oh my goodness. Viv has been on fire, just pulling that back down the line and went inside out and missed it.
Yeah, she kind of rose up with her body, almost like she was resetting instead of staying down through that counter.
Get a missed third from Anna Leigh. Will they make her hit another one? That's what you often see if somebody's in their head. Give them another try. They do. Oh, and she drove it and it was going to be way out. See if that matters. It does. So you would have had Anna Leigh very out of sorts after missing a third drop and a third drive, but it was played. So now they're within 2.
8-10-2.
And within 1, just grinding down Vivienne David. That backhand inside out dinks, the hardest shot in pickleball at the kitchen.
And this is where it's tough. When you get a lead, you start playing not to lose rather than going for it, which is the spirit that really got you in this position with a lead.
And Thomas Wilson sprays it deep after having a good look at the first one, but wasn't ready for the next shot. Paddle was late.
And like they've done so many times, Waters and Johns have clawed back to even things up at 10.
And look at this. They're defending overheads.
Be as aggressive as you can.
Does that, got a high drive, and Viv handled it. So a game point saved on both sides. Can they knot it up here?
10-11-1.
Sails deep, and what a dink.
Yeah, Wilson and David really didn't have anything they could even try to speed up. Waters and Johns doing a good job of moving the ball around in that kitchen exchange.
Huge serve, sets up a big drive, and it'll take at least 13 to win this. We're tied at 11.
11-11-2.
Can't make the ball in transition, but they get a very important single point there.
11-11-1.
Thomas Wilson took off for the angle, but just couldn't get there in time.
Yeah, he saw Ben Johns turn his hips to kind of telegraph that he was going to angle it off, but just too good on the execution on the overhead.
Second game point for the top seed. Oh my, Anna Leigh Waters was going to walk that off and tell Ben Johns, I should always be on the left, but hits the tape. Third game point. Oh no, and a perfect read from Wilson, but not perfect execution.
For Wilson and David to have opportunities. We'll see how they start here. It's going to be important for them to start firing and start strong.
How about that?
You know, if I would have predicted, I might have said maybe a little more like that.
So it is Ben and Anna Leigh who have had 11-9, 11-0 scoreboards today. So I think even this rally, just get the ball back 0-0 mentally, so important. Vivienne David.
Yeah, unbelievable hands, but Anna Leigh just keeps coming at you, doesn't she, Dave?
Yeah, at about 9, 7, 10, she's like, enough of this. I am firing on all cylinders, and is she ever? Look at that drop. That's just nasty. So much spin on that from the AL Dub Carbon on the new paddle that she just launched.
It's like she's got two modes, aggressive or really aggressive.
Yes. And to her and her mother's credit, they changed the way the ladies play pickleball. They just started smashing the ball a couple years ago, and everybody's like, you're supposed to dink it, and you're supposed to drop it. And they're like, that ain't fun.
They're often touching the ball a little bit more.
So a quick timeout from Wilson and David, down 3-zip. And I think Anna Leigh just told Ben, there are no drops, there's no dinking, everything you got. 4-zip.
He's listened quite nicely.
Yeah.
Really has that sense of when he needs to insert himself a little bit more in a match.
Oh, he dropped it. See? See, Ben?
Just keep swinging. Swing away. What's this dinking business?
Okay, good hold, desperately needed hold there. Let's see if Thomas and Vivienne can find their stuff. Just wide from Vivienne David right there.
I like the attack. I like the attack, though, Dave. The teams that have done well against Ben Johns will calibrate with keeping him honest once in a while, attacking back behind him.
Just never got set after a blistering first forehand, so that is back in business for Thomas. But he's just not seeing as many of them because they're not scoring.
4-0-1.
Anna Leigh lurking, and Viv said, again, get back to your side. Such a good ball. That was low.
Yeah, great recognition, knowing that Anna Leigh's likely to poach at that height. One step ahead is Vivienne David.
Good pressure there from Wilson and David. All right, they need to go here. And they got to get to the kitchen every time. Don't in the first try. Get a big swing and a miss from Anna Leigh Waters there.
1-4-2.
Okay, couple misfires.
Definitely something that you can build on, and as they get closer here, you'll feel that energy in the whole stadium just build a little bit more in their favor.
Oh, and Viv had the scorpion ready, and Ben put it on the other shoulder so she couldn't get the paddle there.
Yeah, couldn't quite straighten that one out. Great pickleball IQ from Ben Johns, knowing where that scorpion is just a little bit more vulnerable.
And where is it vulnerable?
Yeah, it's going to be lower on the opposite side of the paddle. So generally that left hip area, it's a tough attack to find, but if you can hit it well, that is the most vulnerable area for that scorpion approach.
Good volley from Viv there. They don't want this to get too far away. 5-2 here.
5-2-2.
And she screams, go, at Ben after she jumped in front of him. That was hilarious.
I think she said go after the ball was already behind him.
Yeah.
Like, where you at, Ben?
Come on, man. She's still smiling about it. Ben just can't get to the kitchen. It's like half the time. That's not good enough.
Yeah, it's tough because they've gotten a few points just ripping the ball, but that's not sustainable for the entirety of the match. So they've got to do a certain amount of playing fundamentals, slowing it down to get forward, and they've just been a little bit off here in game 2.
Yeah, and Leigh Waters has been thrown off the bench with all these dudes supporting Ben over there.
Ran out of space over there.
We need bigger. We need a nice, need that chaise lounge at the end for Leigh. Oh, Rock, you like a hurricane, Thomas Wilson. There's the Scorpion.
And that's why the Scorpion can be so effective, is if they attack you in a higher location, either shoulder, you can cover pretty well and hit down on the volley.
That's a ball that Anna Leigh in women's doubles sets up and then goes and rocks it to it back in, and she delayed because she saw Ben coming over there. Nice job by Thomas Wilson there. So they maintain their position. Now they got to improve it.
Yeah, they've held Waters and Johns at 5 for a couple of possessions now. You kind of feel that momentum creeping back a little bit more to their side. See if they can hopefully continue to play free here. Up-tempo pickleball.
Nasty drop from Thomas Wilson, and then he went for the combo, and he was just late on it. A really high degree of difficulty combo, to be clear. And they do nothing. So back and forth we go. Just air-mailed cocktail there from Vivienne David. That was weird, especially a let serve before that. Bad bliss from serves. Great take from Thomas Wilson there.
Yeah, he's got to continue to stay aggressive regardless of the scoreline, do whatever he can to keep him and Vivienne David up with their energy.
Oh, Viv has caught every dude that's been in front of her today with that shot.
Telling these guys to stay on their side. Stop leaning towards the middle.
Get out of there. Nice job by Vivienne David. Short return, big drive from Thomas Wilson. Drive been much better in this match, and they've got 3 now.
Yeah, and I'd like to see him stay with the drive. A little unlucky with the tape there, kind of opening up that tough angle. But they're chipping away. Ben John says, fool me once,
yeah.
but not twice.
No,
same location, but had the paddle ready that time.
It's immediately put into the algorithm. Just the best in the world at that, and it is fun to watch every time.
It's so tough. The timing has to be perfect there, and it definitely was on that occasion.
Just chaos after the first ball went off the tape there.
Heard somebody in the crowd tell AL to keep swinging.
I don't think you're going to have to do much convincing of that.
Great location on the attack there from Ben Johns. Knows that Thomas Wilson's going to be pinching middle, shading forehand, is able to take that right into his body and jam him up.
And doesn't risk wide by taking it too far over there. Brilliant from Thomas Wilson, and the most brilliant of that was the first reset.
Yeah, great hands to just get back to neutral in that point, but decided to just hit through Ben Johns ultimately. It was the right choice. Vivienne David was right on that one.
Still too much swing. Cannot score, and the pressure from Anna-Leigh Waters continues.
Yeah, not a lot of dead dinks out here.
None. Tried to go back there again and caught the tape. Highest part of the net, 34 in the middle, 36 on the outside. So 2 points away from a showdown with the Johnsons. Make that one, and that was absolutely clobbered.
Yeah, really tough on Vivienne David there. Still moving a bit, trying to unwind the stack, and here we are.
Match point. Big yell from Anna-Leigh saying go. That's twice she has said go, and she knew no matter how fast he was able to go, it wasn't going to work out after her poach didn't quite go the way they wanted. Second try to close the door. And Thomas Wilson gets a tattoo to remember that he did